Okay, so I'm going to be really quick. We're going to do part two of seasons. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Testimony Tuesdays. What I would like to share with you are two examples that happen to tie into one, a lesson that God was trying to teach me. And it's about grace. Long story short, I had an opportunity to help someone who was in need of help. And because I was so keen on finishing what I had started, or being a perfectionist when it comes to music and things of that nature and doing God's ministry, I wanted to make sure I got that situated, and then in the future then I could help you with that. But I knew that that person needed just time to themselves. They needed space. They needed, alone time. Sometimes we need that. And I was beating myself up. I was like, okay, God's disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in myself. And now that person's disappointed in who I am. And now this is how they're going to view me and all these things. And I'm condemning myself, basically. And that's not how God works. That's not his characteristics. That's not how he operates. And I had to learn that. So what I've learned is grace, to give myself grace, because it's freely given from God. If you believe and trust and have a relationship with God, then you know for a fact that he always gives us grace, love and mercy. Another thing that happened was today. I had to do a ministry in Bowie, and I thought that I had planned accordingly as far as the time. I set my alarm and everything, and I still got up at the wrong time, and I got there late, but not too late. And I have a spare tire on the side of my car. So it was like trying not to rush too much on a highway, driving a certain amount of miles, not speeding, all these things. And I'm like, I'm late. And I can't stand being late, because I feel like it's really disrespectful, especially to the person who asked for you to be there. Long story short, I got there safely, because Jesus took all four wheels. And I arrived, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to practice. I hope I play the right chords. I hope I still minister to people. They hear what they need to hear out of the music, all of this. And the gentleman that was there that greeted me, he was like, oh no, don't worry about it. You're here now. If you want to go in the sanctuary and rehearse, then go ahead and do that. I said, thank you. So I got the time. God allowed me to do pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, I messed up a few times because it was last minute and I literally had a day to come up with two songs and everything. But God was there and he helped me get through it. All that to say, he basically allowed me to have grace. And the funny thing is, I didn't get to hear the pastor's sermon today. It's not until the end of the service where he handed me a love offering, and I told him what happened leading up till today, from beginning to end. And he was like, oh, well, it's great that you were perseverant, and, you kept going. You didn't just say, all right, well, I'll just call it a quits. And, that's just great. So we thank you for still coming anyway. And in that little sentence and statement that he made, I was like, oh my gosh, that's grace. As long as you keep going, as long as you're persistent, consistent, and you're steadfast in your faith, and steadfast that God is always going to love you and always welcome you with loving arms, and will continuously forgive and love and give grace and mercy. That's just who he is, and we have to acknowledge that. So the scripture that I have for you all is Ephesians 2 verses 8, and it reads, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. It's not grace from us, but because we believe who God is and who he's been and his characteristics, and he's a never-changing, unconditionally loving God, that we know that his grace is sufficient for us.